I turn the light off, you can see that the white's actually got two parts. A white one and a orange fluorescent one. The orange fluorescent one is the one we think contains gallium. If you go to this sort of ore body, you can see there, quite distinctive orange grains, and it goes, and sometimes you get a rock that's total orange, which if you look under the normal light, is white.
You don't see anything.
Don't see anything, no. Original party trick.
We zijn in Groenland, een land dat tegenwoordig op veel belangstelling kan rekenen voor zijn grondstoffen, zijn mineralen en zeldzame metalen die hier in de rotsen zitten. Een land, denk je dan, waar voor mijnmaatschappijen de mogelijkheden voor het grijpen liggen. Wij willen weten wat dat betekent voor dit land en zijn bewoners. Wat doet Groenland met zijn grondstoffen en wat doen de grondstoffen met de Groenlanders? Je kan Groenland niet begrijpen zonder de fjorden te zien. In de hoofdstad Nuuk gaan we aan boord van de Sterma, de boot van Erik Palo Jacobsen. Morning. Morning, Mr. Palo.
My name is Erik Palo, and I'm a Greenlander. I live here in Greenland. This is my own ship, and I'm not working for anyone.
Erik vist en jaagt en neemt dan vaak toeristen mee. Maar vandaag, op de eerste mooie lentedag, mogen wij mee op een boottocht met zijn familie.
I grew up further north in Sisimiut. I had a team of dogs. I ran my dogs all winter for long distances for fun and for hunting. And then it's my colleagues, I know these guys. I chose this way of living because I really like sailing. I am actually also I'm bragging now, forgive me for that, but I'm very proud of it. I am the chosen operator whenever our country has official guests. Just 2 weeks ago, I had the King of Denmark on board here. And I've had presidents and ministers and VIPs of all kinds and celebrities.
You didn't have J.D. Vance?
Oh, no, not yet. I don't know what to do with him.
Oh, chef is perfect.
Terwijl zijn familie aan land gaat om te picknicken, varen wij verder de fjord op om over Groenland te praten. Trump has stirred up a debate, of course, by saying he wants to have Greenland.
So you're absolutely right. Now that everything has been stirred up so violently or so well, with huge international interest in Greenland and America being obnoxious, even threatening to
take Greenland.
Yeah, take Greenland. So we definitely do not want that. We have our own culture here. You have to be really careful with our country. We want to do the mining, but when you're done taking out the minerals, that has to be no trace at all whatsoever that you've ever been there. If you can't do it properly, you don't need to be here.
De Groenlandse bodem barst van de grondstoffen, klassiekers als koper en ijzer, maar ook de zeldzame aardmetalen die cruciaal zijn voor de groene transitie of voor de defensie-industrie. Vandaag controleert China bijna de hele aanvoerketen van die metalen. Groenland kan daar verandering in brengen.
Name's Greg Barnes, geologist from Perth, Australia, owner of Tanbreez. Been here now 30 years in Greenland and running this project the last 25 years. And I've just merged with an American company called Critical Metals. This is the very southern portion of Greenland. It's only a couple hundred k's to the end of Greenland.
Right.
Right, now our ore body's there.
Ah, okay.
It stood out as the one deposit in Greenland you'd really want. Of the 10 places in the world that every geologist should go to before he dies, this would be one of them.
All right, because it's so rich.
It's so unusual. It's so different. It's so unique. Yeah, this is footage taken out of a helicopter some years ago, but it shows the ore body quite well. We're starting to the west of the ore body. That little beach is the start of the ore body. You can see the very, very heavily banded nature of the ore body there. That's all there. That's 300 metres high, that cliff. And all the way up this valley, it's ore. On the other side of the valley is also ore, which we haven't assessed yet.
Mm-hmm. And that's what geologists get very excited about.
Yeah, well,
it's layered.
Well, you just don't get ore bodies 300 metres thick, covering square kilometres. We could see 10, 15,000 years supply the whole world with it. There's no problem with size. I came here in '92 just to do a 3-day job on a diamond project, which was useless. But on the way out to the project, I'd got to site after drinking too much alcohol the night before with a helicopter driver. And then I had a long piss and I could see that the mineral eudolite was dissolving. Eudolite comes from the Greek word meaning easily dissolved. And I'm sitting there saying, well, look, here's zirconium, niobium and yttrium dissolving in very, very weak acid. Sure, a bit of alcohol with it. And then it took me 8 years before I was able to, let's say, peg it. By about 2004, 2005, it became clear there was what we had was a potential monopoly of rare earths.
All right. So this is more or less the end of Nuuk.
The end of Nuuk.
The end of the civilized world.
Yeah. It's all rock.
It's all rock.
All old rock here. All old rock here.
5 jaar geleden kreeg Barnes van de overheid een exploitatievergunning, maar intussen is hij nog altijd niet met de ontginning begonnen. Zelf investeerde hij naar eigen zeggen 30 miljoen euro in het project. En vorig jaar is daar ook een Amerikaans bedrijf ingestapt, Critical Metals. De interesse vanuit de VS gaat trouwens nog verder.
We've had the State Department, USGS, all those sort of characters walking over this deposit. USGS was there last year again. State Department was there a couple of times. And they realise it's significant of it too. Whoever controls Tanbreez virtually controls the world's rare earth market. All right. I had a phone call about 2 in the morning from some guy who said, can you be in the White House at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning? So being 2 in the morning, I told him to F off. And then I hung up on him. And then he phoned up at 9 and apologised because he figured I was in a different part of the world. I went in the following Monday for met some committee of the White House, yeah.
All right.
And they wanted not only to talk about rare earths, because I've done a fair bit of knowledge on rare earths, but also the politics of Greenland and all that sort of stuff.
So that was already 2019.
That's 2019, and then in the middle of it, Trump made his first bid to buy Greenland.
And these rare earth metals, they're used in basically everything. And that is the smartphones, wind farms, wind turbines. Where it's really needed in large amounts is in the weapons industry. Submarines, your fighter jets, your missiles. There you need a lot. I don't think that's going to change within the next 5 to 10 years.
So there's going to be a big demand for those elements for a long time.
Yes, yes. Unless we start recycling them. Mm-hmm. And that's not something that we do today.
Could there also be a certain degree of speculation when it comes to mining?
There has been companies that's been here for a long time, and it seems to be that they have a strategy of being here for a long time. And we've seen companies that have been staying here for a very short time and moving out again. No doubt that there are also probably some companies who basically just seen it as a, I don't know, a small adventure.
A small adventure and a way of making money quickly.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Dicht bij de site van Greg Barnes ligt nog een ander veelbelovend project voor de ontginning van zeldzame aardmetalen. In Nuuk ontmoet ik de lokale adviseur daarvan. Hij is geen onbekende in Groenland. En ook fans van de serie Borgen kunnen hem herkennen. Daarin speelde hij de Groenlandse minister van Grondstoffen.
Som på ingen måde er enige, og dem repræsenterer jeg også.
Ja, men vi er jo ikke en teenager, som beder om lov til at flytte hjemmefra. Vi er flyttet. Nu skal jeg jo bare vise, at...
My name is Sven Hardenberg. I'm born and raised here in Nuuk. And last year in the spring, I was asked to be an advisor for the mining company called ETM with a rare earth element project at Narsaq. It's perceived to be one of the largest deposits outside of China in the world. It's naturally tied to another resource that has caused us some issues, uranium, yeah. So
You're not allowed to develop the project any further.
well, the zero tolerance law that was put into effect in 2021 effectively stopped the project. So that's why we have to put the question towards the courts. Obviously, I fully respect that there are concerns from the citizens of Narsaq on these elements that have been put into play. But it's a huge resource. It will be highly profitable to utilize. There's an issue at the moment that holds the project that hopefully will be resolved for the benefit of everybody. So let's see what happens.
Onder druk van lokale bewoners en milieuactivisten legde de vorige regering van Groenland het project van Sven Hardenberg stil. Omdat er met de ontginning van de metalen ook uranium zou vrijkomen. Het mijnbedrijf eist nu van de overheid een torenhoge schadevergoeding van 10 miljard euro. De Groenlandse bevolking is verdeeld over de kwestie. Sommigen vinden het een gemiste kans.
Altså grunden til, jeg meget gerne vil have, at vi går i gang med mineindustrien, er jo fordi, at lige nu der er det kun fisk, vi lever af. Og vi kan ikke blive ved med at kun at leve af fisk, så det er vigtigt, at vi også har andre indtægtskilder her i dette land. Her er så Erik Palo og har så været formand for CK i 35 år. Repræsenterer jo faglærte og ufaglærte. Dem, der arbejder i fiskeindustrien, dem, der arbejder på kontor, dem, der arbejder i byggebranchen. Altså, vi repræsenterer næsten hele arbejdsmarkedet. Ja, det stemmer på. De syglige uran, vi har i Sydgrønland, det er kun 3 gram per tons. Det er meget lidt uran, der er. Og jeg mener, de er ikke uran, man er ude efter. Det er de sjældne jordarter, man er ude efter. Man kan aldrig udvinde, eller man kan ikke køre minindustri uden at forurene, men vi kan sørge for, at forureningen er så lav som overhovedet muligt. Fordi vi har nogle sjældne jordarter nede i Sydgrønland, som jeg mener, at den grønlandske befolkning kan tjene penge på, sådan at vores levestandard bliver hævet endnu mere.
We verlaten de hoofdstad en trekken richting het noorden. Er zijn geen wegen in Groenland, dus nemen we het vliegtuig. Vanuit de lucht zie je pas echt hoe verlaten, hoe woest en hoe koud Groenland is. Sneeuw en ijs bedekken zowat het hele land. Onze bestemming Sisimiut is met 5000 inwoners de tweede stad van Groenland. En de bevolking krimpt. Veel mensen willen hier weg. Behalve met visvangst valt er hier weinig geld te verdienen. Of misschien een beetje met toerisme.
Here we are in Dogtown, which is the town where, or the area where we have most of the sled dogs in our area. There will be about maybe 1,500.
1,500 dogs.
Exactly, all over in Sisimiut.
So this is where they will be staying the entire summer?
The entire summer. They will stay here summer and winter. A lot of them will wait for winter. 30 years ago, we had 30,000 sled dogs, Greenlandic sled dogs. Now we only have 13,000, about 13,000 sled dogs left. And it is because of, partly because of climate change, because up in the north, the dog teams were used to drag sledges for fish on the ice. Now they are using boats. Snowmobiles are taking over as well, but mainly it is due to climate change and the modernization of the different the everyday life, I would say.
So tourism could actually help saving the Greenlandic sled dog.
Definitely. Culture and nature here is very, very closely combined. And getting outside in the big outdoors is good for everyone. And I think that this way of looking into tourism is also a way of sharing this passion and this very deeply connection with nature.
Behalve toerisme heeft Sisimiut nog een troef.
My name is Jakobine Lennert. I am 26 years old. I grew up in Manita, and this is my family. I am a student in the Greenland School of Minerals and Petroleum, and this is my second year. Someday I wanna work at the mine site.
Sinds enkele jaren heeft Groenland een eigen mijnbouwschool. De eerste regering Trump gaf die een duwtje in de rug met $1 miljoen aan financiële steun om de mijnwerkers van de toekomstige Groenlandse mijnen klaar te stomen.
At first, in high school, I always dreamed to become a dentist. From dentist, like small teeth, like small drilling, and then right now it's a big machines with the drilling.
It's a different kind of equipment.
I'm checking the machine. If there is any oil underneath. When I started in school, we started with the big machines. Even I don't have a driving lesson, so I start with the big machines. So it's amazing, exciting, and yeah. I think it's very important to our Greenlanders. We need more people who are educated in this subject, especially in the, for example, blasting and drilling courses, and the machine operating, and all kinds of stuff.
Do you know how to handle all these machines?
Yes, I know 6 different machines I know how to operate.
Okay, so you're almost ready to start working in the mine?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
1,5 Dabonga gange 3 meter rivshafa.
Why do you think there are not more mines operating already? It's because of the geography, or?
Yes, and the climate and the infrastructure. It requires a lot of energy to do mining. Like you need fuel, you need the infrastructure. Also, how you're gonna ship out the ore when you have ice like 50% of the time.
Can you also keep operating in Greenland during the winter? Is that a problem?
It's a problem. Like let's take White Mountain, Lumina. I think they close up for operation during some time in the winter because it will be too cold for the machines.
Er zijn momenteel maar 2 mijnen actief in Groenland. De Lumina-mijn, waar ze het gesteente anorthosiet bovenhalen, en een goudmijn. Het grillige en harde klimaat speelt ook ons parten. De terugvlucht uit Sisimiut kan niet doorgaan.
So why was it closed? Because of the turbulence on the runway here. They can't land.
Het vliegtuig was wel gekomen, maar kon niet landen door de hevige wind en moest rechtsomkeer maken. En ook een bezoek dat we gepland hadden aan de Lumina-mijn lukt niet. Het weer is te slecht om er naartoe te varen. Hi Dan. What's up? Do you have any news about the ship?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's due to weather conditions, we have to cancel it. It's too risky to sail.
I guess that's the Greenland reality.
That is Greenland reality. It can change from minute to minute.
We don't have any roads between towns or villages. Everything, as I say, is infrastructure is planes or ships. Sometimes I also say people, because knowing the right people also helps a little bit. So that means if you're starting a mine, depending on where you are, location, you'll have to build your own harbor. Once you build your harbor, then you have to make a road from the harbor site to where your location of the mine is. And that could be 20 kilometers, even more than that, 25 kilometers.
You need energy as well?
You need energy, yes you do, yeah. You have to build in your accommodation. You have to build in your water supply and your sewer system. You can't rely on the health system, so you have to bring in your own doctors. And depending on how large your mine is, there are companies that potentially have thought about actually making an airstrip for shipping in our crew when a crew changes. So it's a costly affair.
Is it a lot of wishful thinking?
I won't say difficult, I won't say wishful thinking, but there are definitely stumbling blocks ahead that has to be dealt with. There's no doubt about that. And I don't think it's, I don't think there's going to be 10 mines opening up within the next 5 years. But there could be a couple of mines opening up in the next 5 years, maybe. But a couple of mines is not that much, actually. It's actually not that much.
Groenland lijkt op het eerste gezicht het Arctische Eldorado. Maar wie hier iets uit de grond wil halen, heeft moed, geduld en doorzettingsvermogen nodig. Now, Greg, you're 76 years old. I don't. Yeah, well,
yeah.
I'm just saying this because do you really think that you yourself are still going to see something of the production of the concession?
I think we'll be in mining next year. Looking like that will start late next year. We'll do a full field season this season, and that'll mean a lot of drilling. And yeah, I think we'll start later on next year.
The big mining companies, they're very good at seducing little populations like ourselves and promising everything, and they never keep their promises, not at all. And they leave a mess, and the losers in this game will always be the local indigenous people, and the winners will be the big international companies. There's two of them. It's a mother with a calf. Maybe they recognize the boat from last year.
This is exceptional to see two whales like that.
It's not unusual, but it's extremely good today. Money is important, economy is important, but it's not everything. This is everything. We have an enormous country, and we like it to be untouched, more or less. I mean, we're not all that many people, and we have plenty of space, but still, don't touch anything. Just leave it as it is. That's what we like.